Well, good morning. I'm Pastor Shane, and a beautiful day to you and yours. I hope the good Lord is smiling on you today. So we are continuing our quest, visiting my favorite verses from every book in the Bible. We did Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and today we're hitting Deuteronomy. All right. I bet most of you out there have never read the book of Deuteronomy, right? So what happened in Deuteronomy? So just to give you a little context to set it up. So 40 years earlier, remember God brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. They were in slavery. You all saw Charlton Heston, and he brought Let My People Go, right? Okay. So then God told his people, he said, I'm making a special agreement with you, and I'm going to give you the promised land, the land of Canaan. He said, I am your God. And in return, you're going to keep my commandments. All right, you're going to keep my laws. However, immediately they started violating God's laws. As soon as he gave them, they started violating them, all right? And so that generation forfeited getting to go into the promised land, the land that God had told them was theirs. Well, they wouldn't obey him, so they lost their part of the contract, okay? And so they wandered around in the wilderness for 40 years, and that generation died. Now there's a new generation. And so what happens? They get right up to the line to where they're going to cross into the promised land. Remember, Moses can't go because he hit a rock where God told him to just speak to the rock and he'd bring forth water. Moses disobeyed God, so he can't go in. But he is standing there looking into the promised land, and he gives the people the law of God a second time. Hence the name Deuteronomy. That means what? That means we're talking about the second law, the second time God gave the law. So here now you know where the name come from. And picture this. So Moses is standing right at the cusp of the land, and he gives them a choice. He said, you got to choose life or death. Not real complicated, is it? God is revealing a God who doesn't just issue commands, he invites. He invites them to obey. So I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 19 and 20, okay? Deuteronomy chapter 30 says, today I've given you the choice between life and death, between blessing and curse. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that you and your descendants may live. You make this choice by loving the Lord your God, obeying him, and committing yourself fully to him. This is the key to life. And if you love and obey the Lord, you will live long in the land the Lord swore to your ancestors. Oh, isn't that precious? I love that. So that was the second time the law had been given in this new generation. So the question is, if you look at that, verse 20 says, you're going to make this choice, and God's going to know if you're serious about it. He's going to know what your choice is by one, are you going to love God? With your heart, soul, and mind. Are you going to love God? You choose to love him. Two, are you going to obey him? Are you going to follow his word? And number three, are you going to commit to your choice? You're going to stay with it and not be tossed to and fro and here and there and everywhere. So choosing. This is not a one-time decision. This is a posture. The Bible says to daily take up your cross and follow him. Choosing is not just a one-time thing about if you're going to follow God and love God. It is a daily act of choosing to turn toward God when everything else is pulling on your heart and drawing you away. Choosing is trusting God's voice above your own impulses. Choosing is hanging on to God when your life feels uncertain. So Moses is adding a truth. He's saying, listen, God, your Lord, is life. Life is not a destination. No, life is a person, and that is Jesus Christ. Don't miss that. Life is not a destination. It is not a period of time. Life is the person of Jesus Christ. So today, if you feel torn, today, if you're struggling, you're torn between different paths, right? You're weary from decisions and you've wandered and now you're curious if you can even come back. Remember, life is available. God calls your name. You just have to choose if you're going to love him, obey him, and commit to that decision, right? Are you going to do those three things? That's what God's doing. He's calling us not to perfection, but to follow him.